in the earlier classes here, right? So we discussed about the HANA installation. To perform the HANA installation, what are the hardware requirement we required? What are the softwares we required? Then which tools we will use to perform the installation? HDB, LCM tools. How many ways we can do the installation? Three ways we can do the installation. One is the command prompt mode, HDB, LCM. Then HDB, LCM, GUI. So GUI mode and HDB, LCM, web mode, browser mode. So URL it will open, then we can perform in the URL level here, right? So the three ways we can do the installation: command prompt mode, GUI level, and web level. We can perform the HANA installation using the HDB LCM tools here, right? So when you've done the HANA installation, this is what we have done it, right? When you've done the HANA installation, so basically you will get so in this is the operating system. If you assume this is the operating system, on top of the operating system, why? Because without operating system we cannot do anything, right? Any software or any application or anything, any small piece of software also, on top of operating system only we have to install it, right? So then, so we have done the HANA installation on top of, then this is the HANA 2.0. You will get the one system DB, one tenant database you will get by default. By default, HANA 2.0 is a multi-container. You will get the one system DB, one tenant database you will get by default when you are doing the installation here. So system DB and tenant DB here, right? So there is a multiple tenants we can create it, but by default you will get only one, and by default you will get only one system DB only here. System DB cannot be more, only one. Tenant DB can be created more, right? So but by default during the installation you will get only G plus one. Okay, so ground floor plus floor only you will get to the here. So then after that, sir, during the installation, you said like we will get the some family members, right? Yes, right. So we have the some family members we will get during the installation time here, right? So one is the index server, right? The second one is the name server. The third one is the preprocessor. Second, third, fourth one is the compile server here, compile server, right? So then web dispatcher, then access engine, then the daemon. So then, so these are the 7 core process will be created during the installation time, right? So during the installation time, these are the 7 core process will be created here in the system, right? So they are the 7 family members, and nowadays we have the one more additional process that is called the local secure store process. So this is the additional that we will call it as the LSS process. It is new process, new in the HANA 2.0 SPS08 onwards, right? So below there is no process of the local store. This is only for the 2.0 SPS08 onwards. This process, new process is getting created here. This is the like encrypting the OS level passwords, backup trees, any sensitive information. This will do the encryption of the things and everything here, right? Sir, you mentioned that so 7 core process are getting created. So in that 7 core process, so where the remaining process will be here and where the system DB. So every system DB it contains the index server and access engine here, index server and access engine here. So remaining all the process, remaining all the process it contains in the, it will stay in the your system database here, right? Remaining all the process it will stay in the system database here, right? So this is the where the process will sit. Normally when you do the SAP installation, you will get the two instances, ASS instance as well as the primary application server instance you will get here. ASS, we have the two process, message server and queue server, right? Then, but in the SAP application server, remaining all the process in the application server, dispatcher, IGS, ICM, dialog, update, right? Gateway, right? Spool, so background. So these all will be in the, so here, right? So remaining two will be here. That is the SAP level structure. But when it comes to the HANA level structure, so these are the two databases will be created by default. Then if you do this one here in the system DB, we have the remaining six process. And so in the only in the tenant database, we have the one index server, one access engine. So tomorrow there is a situation my manager asked me to create the one more tenant database means, then on top of this one, you can create the one more tenant database. When you create the one more tenant database, then again you will get the, so I and X, you will get it out. I and X, you will get it out. Then I and X, you will get it out. I and X, you will get it out. Up to, for how many we can create it means the accept default one. So remaining 19 we can create it here with the default one. So then 19 tenants plus one, yes, system DBs we can create in the one operating system. On top of the one operating system, how many limitations we have means one system DB. So 20 tenant databases we can create it here. 20 tenant databases we will get created. So, but by default, you will get one thing, right? So that's why 19 you can manually add it, right? You don't need to install it, just execute the command, it will be created here. That I will let you know how to create those things as well here, right? So this is the structure of the where this process live in the databases means this is the one here, right? So then what is the use of the, what is the use of the index server, name server, preprocessor, why? So what is the use of the each server? Then you will come to know, then you will come to know the importance and each and everything, right? So when it comes to the importance of the importance of the index server, index server is the main process here. Index server is the main process here. All the data loading, all the data calculation which is coming from the application from anywhere, all the data storage will be done in the index server only. Sir, index server is taking care of the all the responsibilities here. Then what about the other process? What about the other process here? Why? Because you said like all the data loading activities, data calculations activities here. So there are the some index server internal, there are the some engines here. It will, so query engine, SQL engine, calculation engine, OLTP engine, OLTP engines are there. So it will query, it will process the entire database level, the heart for entire human body, how the heart is very important here, right? Similarly, so we have the index server is very important here. Entire, so DB install database is like a brand new house installation, right? Brand new home installation. In the after the home ceremony, one family members can stay inside of the house, right? Family members means father, mother, child, kids. So all we will call it as the family members, right? So here, then who is the father here? Who is the father here? So index server is the father of the database. Why? Because all the in the house, in our house, how father will play the very important role, right? He is only will play the very important role, father in a house, right? So he'll take the loads, calculations, daily usages, daily, so each and everything, right, will play the very, very important role here. He is the main person in the father's way. We will call it as the father of the house, right? So same as like here in the database level. So the index server is taking care of the each and everything. And so then all the data store, database means storing the data which is coming from the applications. Then in the database level where it will store, father, index server. Index server is the process that is available in the tenant database. So tenant database here. So that's why, as I mentioned here, all the applications will connect to the father. So if any other external persons will coming to the your home directly, you will ask, so boss, your father is there? Or some they will ask these questions, right? Why? Because he is the main person, he is the decision maker, he is the main, right? So that's why here coming to the database language, index server is the main process here. It will play the very important role to store the data. All the data storage, calculations, each and everything will be in the index server only. So that's why index server is I for INIQ. Index server is like a so father of the database. So then what about the name server? Name server, name server in a family, father. Similarly, we have the kids like, so some kids like they will not do anything. They will only just to hold the some kind of family related information, some kind of information, right? So, but those persons will help to the family member. Similarly, name server available in the system DB, and it will holds the topology related information. Topology related information here. What is mean by topology related information? What is your host? What is your SID? What is the IP? So what is the IP? So this kind of information it will holds, then it will help to the index server to store the data here. To store the data, it will help to the index server here, right? So name server also just to, so suppose like index server required is some host SID IP details. Then immediately index server we will talk to the name server. Then index server, so it will so index server name server. Then name server will help to the index server to store the data and provide the information here, right? Remaining all the process will help to the index server only. But finally, the data storage will happen at father only, right? That is the main thing here, right? So then what about the preprocessor here? Preprocessor here. The preprocessor, it will process the unstructured data. Unstructured data then will help to index server here, right? So it will process the unstructured data. Will process the unstructured data, which is not in the structure, right? Database means what? Database, HANA database is written into the C++ language. All the programs and everything, database is designed using this C++ language. So, which means if any data which is coming to the, it should be in the structure format, some coding, some rules format. Even though the data is not in the structure format, here in one of the family member, same as like name server, one of the family member, it will process the unstructured data to structured format, and it will help to index server to store the data. Finally, data will store into the index server only. Okay. Then compile server here. So compile server here. What is mean by compile server here? Right? Compile server, compilation of the programs, stored procedures, compilation of the programs, stored procedures, and so yeah, compilation of the stored procedures will help to index server, right? So compilation of the program. Why? Because database means it's not only store the database. Database is written into the language, C++ language, all the programs, right? Then the programs also will store into the DB level. So then that kind of programs, it will do the compilation. Compilation means to speed up the program execution and everything. Here, the compile server will do the compilation of the programs and stored procedure which are available in the database level, will help to the index server, right? So database level also there is some programs. Why? Because database also is initially there is a coding. They will write into the C++ language. Then there are some stored procedures. They will create it using that one. They will execute. They will create a build a database. Then in that case, you need the compilation of the programs and stored procedures will help to index server to store the data and everything here, right? So the next one compilation. Suppose example, if you take the bike, if you take the some bike motor, so in the bike, so we have the engine is there. Even though we are pouring the engine oil, right? So why we are pouring the engine oil, right? Even though we have the diesel or petrol, but engine oil also should be available for the smooth run, right? For smooth run of the engine and everything. So its engine oil is like a compile server here, right? What the engine oil will do in the inside of the motor, so it will smoothly compilation. It will compile the all the units in the for smooth execution purpose and everything engine. So we need a engine oil, right? So similarly, here also the compile server, it will compile the all the programs and stored procedure will help to the index server here, will help to the main motor, main engine here, right? So that is the main thing here. So what about the web dispatcher here, right? Web dispatcher in the name itself, web means browser based request. Dispatcher means dispatching the request, right? Browser plus dispatching, right? So web dispatcher is the process. If suppose like normally we will log into the we will connect to the HANA database using the HANA Studio. HANA Studio, we will use it here, sir. This is the HANA Studio here, right? Our desktops, there is a HANA Studio is available here, right? So you can go ahead and you can see the HANA folder, then right click and pin to the start menu and pin to the taskbar. Then you will see the HANA Studio here. So normally we will use the HANA Studio to do the administration level activities. To perform the administration level activities, we will use the HANA Studio. So, but some of the users, they will use the browser to connect to the HANA databases. Some of the applications will use the browser. As we are a human, we are using the HANA Studio, right? So HANA Studio to do the monitoring, to do the development. But so here, web dispatcher will take the web-based request. Web dispatcher will take the web-based request, then hand over the request to access gen access engine. Here the access engine so will process the web-based request. Access engine will process the web-based request and will help to index server to store the data. Will help to index server to store the data here. This is what it will be done by the. So this is what it will be done by the in access engine here and web dispatcher. Web dispatcher will take the request which is coming from the browser internet, then will hand over to the only it will not process. Then again it will hand over to the access engine. Access engine will process the whether this browser request are valid or not authentication. Then it will process the whatever the user wants to do it through browser. It will process the request and everything here, right? So some people they will use the browser to connect to the HANA database and everything. That time, so this will be helpful here. Okay. So then the next one is like the main important thing here, the daemon process here, right? So what is the use of the daemon process here? Sir, here in a family you mentioned like in a family means definitely father, mother, so maybe kids, so all are there, right? So then then father you mentioned, kids also you mentioned. What is mean by daemon? Daemon, who is the mummy here? Daimon is the mummy here. What the mummy will do. In case of in our family, any person in our family, if any person, any kid or anyone is go sick status here, is in the sick, then is in the error status, or any family member is in the error status or sick status or faulty status, then immediately the mummy will come, will give the boost to that person, then immediately it will become a active status here. It will take to the active status here. That is what it will be done by the daemon, right? The mummies are the daemon process here, right? Like why? Because if I talk about the database language here, in out of this process, if any process is in the stopped status or error status or failed status, daemon will go and bring back to the active status. Same as like in our home, if the so if any one of the family member is in the sick or error status, then immediately the daimon will give some boost or some other energy drink to the family member to become a active, right? Similarly, the daimon also will do this kind of things here. So if I talk about the DB language, so daimon will clear the faulty status. That is the database language. Faulty status means error status, stopped status, faulty status. Clear the faulty status of any remain process of DB process here, right? That is what it will be done by the daemon process, right? So we have the father, we have the mother in a family, and also remaining all are the kids, childs, right? So we have everybody is available in a family, right? So but everyone will help to the father only, father, right? So to store the data here, right? So sir, these are the process are fine here. Sir, where can I see the so then how can I do the monitoring or administration of the HANA database, right? So you need to use the HANA Studio here. In the HANA Studio, you need to add the database here. HANA Studio, you need to add the database here. If you open the HANA Studio, in the HANA Studio, then you done the installation, right? You need to have the HANA Studio should be ready. In your desktop, you have the HANA Studio along with the putty, and you have the HANA Studio. You can open the HANA Studio. Then you can add the first time, you need to add the system here. Go to the host name, right? So this is the button here in the left side top. You can see there is a add system here. Add. Then what is the host name of the your operating home? KPS4 HANA, right? What is the instance number you have done the installation? So here you guys can use the HDB ADM, right? So then if you use the HDB space info, then it will show the whether the database is up and running or not. It will show here, right? There are no process here, index server, name server here. Database is stopped status here. So this host name is the so KPS4 HANA. SID is the HDB, instance number is the 00. That is what you have done during the instance installation time. But this is the not the single container. It's not the 1.0. It's a 2.0. By default, you will get the one system DB here, just adding. So then what is the user system? What is the password? The password which you created during the installation time. Then click on the OK button. Then if you see cannot access the system on the host, which means the database is not up and running, right? True. Why? Because you see, when you type the HDB space info, capital HDB space info, you see there are no processor running here, which means database is not running. So then if you type the HDB space start, then this is for starting the HANA database. HDB space start to start the HANA database here, right? You are starting the HANA database. So HANA database will not start immediately. It will take some time here. You will get the prompt like you will get the prompt. Then it will be started here, right? It is starting now, right? So then meanwhile, systemdb, right? Systemdb will start immediately. Then if you enter it here, right, systemdb, so it started here, right? Systemdb started here, right? Let's add it here. Then you see systemdb is connected here. It is in the green status here. When you double click it, it will open the administration page. Administration page will be opened here, right? This is the HANA Studio, so administration here. Okay, so then systemdb you added, right? You see it is got the prompt here, but you type again hdb space info, then you will see the, now you see the all the process here. Now you see the all the process here. Earlier when you used the hdb space info, there are no process or no family members are displaying here, which means HANA is not started. So look, without starting the HANA database, how you will connect from the different tools and different applications. DB should be started, right? So that's why first start check the data. If you are unable to connect it, so don't. So if you are unable to connect it, so then it's not the so issue with the you are the way which you are connecting. Issue with the database level here. So which means database is not up and running. Then you need to go to the studio level, command prompt level, then start the database here. That is what you have to do it in the systems here. If you use the HDB space start, database will be started. HDB space stop, database will be stopped status here, right? You added the system DB, then and also you can also add the tenant database as well here, right? So KPS4 HANA 00 multi-container, then tenant database here. What is the so tenant DB SID, system DB SID, both are same, right? So then, so here system, then password, whatever the password we have, then you can use it here. So it's already in exist. So which means for you, it will be added here. It will be added to the system. Then you can open the system DB also, system DB and tenant DB also connected here, right? So this is the system DB. This is the tenant database here. This is the tenant database here, right? So you added the database to the system here. You added the database to system here, right? That is done. You added the system DB, tenant DB, you added to the HANA Studio, that is completed here. Then what is the next step here, right? So as soon as you added to the here, just to right click, add, open the administration page here, same page will be opened. Right click and open the administration here, then the tenant related administration tab will be opened, right? System DB tab is opened, tenant related tab is opened. Both are same, right? So tabs are common administration tabs. Here also the common administration tabs. So here the first tab is like a overview tab. Here in the overview tab, it will display the what is the status of the your services, whether the all the services are started, which means your all family members are started or running status here. Yes. What is the system usage, custom system? When was the first restart of the system, right? When was the most recent started time here, right? Is it a distributed system? No, only on the same host we have done the installation of the database here. What is the version of the database? HANA 2 SP08. So HANA 2.00 SPS08 here, right? Build time. What is our Linux operating system details? This is the Linux kernel version. Who is the hardware manufacturer? So Microsoft here. So the first tab here, either system DB or tenant DB. So then overview tab here, overview. When you purchase the new book from anywhere, so then first page is like a summary page, overview page. So in that page, so okay, this unit 1 is like a 1 to 20 pages, then unit 2 21 to 30 pages, something like that. There is a overview will come, right? Similarly in the HANA Studio also, whenever you open the this one, you will get the two things here. One is the system DB, tenant DB here. System DB, you will see the all the process here, right? So overview section. In the overview section, we will see the all the information, whether the database is green or red status or what is happening in the database, then you will see the all the information in the here, right? Are there any critical alerts here, right? What is the status of the HANA memory? Why? Because HANA is like a in-memory database. Then, so memory status will be displayed here. So out of how much memory, what is the current used memory? So all the memory things are getting shown, right? What is the CPU usage here? What is the disk usage here, right? So disk means we have the slash and data, slash and log folder, slash and shared folder, right? So trace folder. So what is the status? Out of 117 GB, how much GB it is occupying here? That information. So as of now, it's everything is green. Everything is green status here. This is the first tab. We can see it here, right? So then the landscape
Sir,
tab,
sir,
OLAP. Yes.
in overview, there was a platform, right? SUSE, Linux Enterprise.
Right.
So, what is the difference between a Linux and what is the different Linux and SUSE Linux?
Oh, okay. So Linux has the two flavors. One is the SUSE Linux, one is the Enterprise, one is the Red Hat Linux. Okay. Linux, there is no direct Linux. Linux has two flavors here. How the Windows has flavors like Windows 6, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 9, Windows 10, Windows 11, 12, right? And server editions, how we have the flavors. Similarly, in the Linux has two flavors. One is the SUSE Linux, second one is the Red Hat Linux. Okay.
Okay,
So
okay.
flavor.
Yeah, thanks.
So this is the platform. Normally, SUSE Linux or SLES shortcut. They will people like some people call SUSE Linux SLES slash 15, or some people SUSE 15, or some people SUSE Linux 15. Whatever their name, they will call it as it. They will call it, but it's like a SUSE Linux or Red Hat Linux, right? So we have the AX also Linux platform. Sun Solaris is also Linux platform. OS 360 also Linux problem, OS 390 also Linux flavor only. All are the flavors, right? All are the flavors. But in that, HANA will support only SUSE Linux or Red Hat Linux flavors only. Okay. So here in the overview page, just we will see the before we go for the detail, it will just we will see the first overview. That's it. Okay. Then when you go to the landscape tab here, in the landscape tab, you will see the all the process related details here. Whether the process is active, yes. Name daemon, name server, preprocessor, web dispatcher, all are active status active. Where it is installed in this host. What is the port number? It is allocated by default. It will be allocated, right? Then who is the master in the system DB? Name server is the master. What time it is started, what is the usage of the CPU, what is the usage of the memory, right? So it is in the graphical level, it is in the values level, it is displaying values level. You can see what is the usage here, values level, what is the usage it is displaying here, right? So that is the main thing about the process here, right? So as I mentioned here, so as I mentioned here, so here the daemon, suppose like if I right click and if I just kill or stop it, if I kill it, the process in the red status. You can see service are not, some services are not started here. I stopped the one process here. Then again refresh it out. Again it is coming to the green. Green means again it is started successfully. So how it got started successfully? How it got started successfully here, right? Why? Because here the daemon process will clear that error status or stopped status will become a active status by the daemon process. Daemon process, right? So that is what will be done by the daemon mummy, right? That is what. So here in the tenant DB also we have the same overview tab. Similarly, then go to the landscape tab. Landscape tab we have additionally along this file process, along this file process here, along this file process here. This you can ignore it. This is common. So along this file process here, we have the remaining two like a index server and access engine, which means index server access engine is running on the tenant database along with the display screen. Along with these two remaining process also will show. Here you can see the all the process. So which means, sir, I'm confused here. Why? Because in the tenant database also it's showing compile server, system DB also it's showing the say compile server, which means we have the two compile servers. No, only one. Then how can we prove it, sir, whether it's only one or two means? So you can see here the port number, the ID which is allocated, the process ID which is allocated here 8126. So then if you go to the here 8126, this is the process ID. Similar, only display screen it is showing, but the actually this is running on the tenant system DB only, not the tenant database. Every system database we have the compile server, daemon, name server, preprocessor, and web dispatcher. Access engine and index server will be in the tenant database. That's why you can see when you go to the system database, we have only 5 process here. But when you go to the tenant, those 5 plus 2 will be displaying, 7 will be displaying here. Only display screen. But actually in each tenant only index server and access engine is running here. So those services related process when it was started here, right? CPU, memory utilizations, all the information, how much it is using graphically also we can see. I need values wise sir means here you can check the values wise. Otherwise if you just click a mouse over it here, this is also will be display here. Why? Because all the data will store into the index server only. Here we can see the data usage, how much. Why? Because here the main memory keep on increasing means the data getting stored into the main memory level here. So that is what we need to look it out here, right? Then next one is the alerts tab here.
Okay.
Alerts tab. Alerts tab is
Yeah,
like
hello.
a yes.
If it is in landscape tab, if memory is 100% full, so
Hmm.
what is the action resolution for it?
Yeah, we'll come to know. This further topics will help you to identify the why it is causing and everything. Okay. Further
Okay,
topics will
sure.
help. So in the 100% full means you have the memory, all the data is loaded to the main memory. There is no free memory. Or someone is executing longer thing in the database level. Or some queries are executing. Why? Because database level, the application related queries will be executed. That query is very long. The query is pulling the longer time data from financial data. Some people they will pull the last 10 years data, last 5 years data, they will pull from their sales data. That year means that time you have the less memory, then memory will be filled with that query. So that time we need to identify which one is canceling and which one is doing, right? In the performance tab, we can identify so which user session is causing the high performance here, what is the duration, how much memory is using, all the information we can find out in the performance tab that we will come to know. So coming to the alerts tab here, in the alerts tab here, it will throw the errors. So if the memory 100% is going before that only, it will throw the signals, alerts to us. What's happening with the database here? Any errors, eh, any errors, it will detect before only, it will throw the error message to us, right? Or emails to us here, right? So here we can see there is a configure option here. Here you can configure the your sender email address here. Your sender email address you can configure it here. Then SMTP server you can configure. Every company there is a SMTP server, the mailbox server here. Then you can configure the mailbox server. Then you can configure the your recipients. Recipients means who should receive the email ID. So my basis team should receive the email ID. So all the emails, errors related information as a alert. Then you can configure the alert configuration. Now you configure the alerts configuration here. What will happen? Any error is occurred in the system level, it will throw the information. It will throw the errors to the your mailboxes here. Whatever the group email ID you mentioned, this will throw the alerts to this group email boxes and everything here. That is what. So it will do it in the systems here. Okay. That is the most important errors here. All the errors will be recorded here. Otherwise, you can come to here and you can see are there any critical errors in the system. They are the priority wise. We have the alerts here. There is a high priority. As soon as system is installed, we have to take the backup. Backup related errors are shown. There are the two medium priority alerts. Information only, just we can ignore it. But only we need to look the high priority, very high priority, and medium priority alerts here. Right? So here, same here also. So you did the restart. You did the restart of the database, right? So here we can see the all the alerts. So last 15 minutes are there any errors? Last 20 minutes, 30 minutes are there any alerts? Only one high priority alert like web dispatcher was restarted. Web dispatcher was restarted on this host, right? You done the web dispatcher restart. That's why the error got generated, right? So that's what today total four alerts here. One is the web dispatcher 96 as per the time. Then 5:47 and 11:47 a.m. Here the DB backup is not exist. What about the yesterday? Back 3 weeks, months back, other backs. So all the information will be, all the errors will be detected here, right? Sir, I cannot monitor every day, every time, every hour, every second into the studio like what errors are received. So is there any alert configuration? I should receive the emails as soon as the error is generated. Why? Because mailbox means we will monitor, keep on monitoring, keep on checking the emails and everything. Then is there anything? Yes, that's why you can go to the configure option here. You can provide the all the details here so that you will receive as soon as the alert is generated. You receive the email saying that web dispatcher is restarted on the host. Please check it out. So like that, then you will get the error message timestamp and related note also you will get it out here. That's what. So how many times it got restarted? August 19th it got restarted. Then 21st it got restarted now today. Two times it got restarted in a 2 days gap. So all the information is showing here, right? That is the errors information tab here. Okay. So this is the alerts details, alerts configuration details here, right? So the next one, performance tab here, right? So performance tab here, right? So performance tab, what is meant by performance tab here? So in the performance tab here, you see, so you see here, performance tab is very, very important tab for troubleshooting area. Performance tab is very, very important for troubleshooting. When you log into the system, when you connect it to the HANA database, one session will be allocated. One session for each user, one session will be allocated. So when your session is allocated, whether that session is running, yes, true active status. Yes, you are currently active in the system. Who is that user? So from studio, you connected the studio version. Who is that user? So administrator, which database user you connected? What is the IP of your RDP client host? From which host from who you are connecting? What is the process ID, right? What is the statement you are running currently? How many queries you executed till now from login to logout, right? So how many records of you fetched here? All the details are clearly it is displaying all the information here, which means we cannot escape or we cannot say like, sir, I have not connected database, then how can I execute the query and how can I corrupt the database? Means we cannot. Why? Because your sessions will be recorded here, each and every session. Whoever connecting to the database, all your user sessions will be tracked under the sessions tab. So whenever whoever connected with their IP address, with their host name, with their what user they connected, I am logged in with the administrator. Maybe you will log in with the some your own users and everything, right? Then your users will be tracked. Each and everything will be tracked under the sessions tab here. This way we can find out. And each session, sir, I logged in with the only one session. Then how can you prove whether I did something or not? I just connected and I ignored it, right? Then how can I prove it? There is a activity should be shown. Then each session you are going to the multiple threads will be allocated, right? You can go to session, one session, multiple threads will be allocated. Sir, I entered into the home only. That is only one thing you see. But after entering into the home, Then I did multiple things. I went to that room, I went to this room, I went to the kitchen, I went to the fridge, I went to the this way. Multiple ways I am roaming. Then each roaming, each places there is a thread will be allocated. We want to go from one place to another place, the thread will take care of that part. So threads will tell you what are the things you are doing in the database level here, right? You connected fine. Then after that, each and every activity, the thread will be allocated. One thread will be allocated here. So here you can see application user only. Then what you are doing, so all the information is clearly it's tracking here. What is the thread? What is the thread ID? Then which process is helping for you? Is a name server is helping for you, or Vendex server, or preprocessor, or all the process, or multiple process? Then what exactly it is doing here? All the information, how much time it is taking. So this is duration of the seconds. This is the duration, how much time it is helping here. Means your request will be active since longer time. So then, which means your session is running from longer time in the system, longer time from the system, which definitely it will cause the memory issues and memory bottlenecks and everything, right? So any session, so should means any user or anything should not execute anything more. Only database means application will store the data. So some users directly will connect to the database level to pull the data. That time the session, the recorded, the duration is more, then it will sometimes if you have the less memory, it will say like memory is full, something like that. You will get it out here, right? So if any transactions are blocked, it will show the blocked transactions list. If any statement, whatever the SQL statement you executed, all the SQL statements related information will be displayed, right? So SQL plan cache, all the statements will be here, right? Why? Because level you are database level. Sir, I only log into the database level, checking the this tab, checking the this tab, and checking the this tab and everything. But each and every tab and each and every action, there is a SQL statement will be executed in the backend. That's why you are getting the statement here, right? That's why you are getting the statement. That's why you see all the information here. Any trace you activated, any jobs are in progress here, any load in the system, what is the database load here, that will be displayed here, right? Average load, CPU load, memory load, graphically, this is a very high peak level, it is very high, right? So then suddenly there is no activity. Why? Because system is stopped here. Then we started, then high, then immediately, then calm down, then normal activity. So like that, we can see the activity status and everything here. Activity status and everything, we can see it in the system here, right? So a performance tab is very, very important to identify what's causing the issue and who is doing what, and to identify all the issues the performance tab is causing here, right? That is the main important thing of the main important thing here. Okay. So these first four tabs, you can practice it for today. Okay. The remaining tabs, I will explain it tomorrow's class. So what is the volume configuration? These are the very important. Then we can discuss about the remaining folder security, provisioning. There are a lot of things are there to discuss in the HANA database level, right? So we have the gaps also in this week due to some other issues and everything. So we have to compensate those classes in this week as well. So we will discuss this Saturday as well regarding these classes tomorrow also. So we'll at least we'll progress some activities here. We have to cover those classes. Okay.
Sir, what do we check in that job of progress?
So internal, there are some jobs we need to check. Are there any active jobs in the system or not? That's it. Sometimes jobs also, there are some internal jobs. Some people database level internal jobs will be there. Here the what is the database, what schema, what table it is referring. So is it what is the progressing when it was started? So anything is started that 10 days back, 20 days back, still active means definitely it will cause the DB performance issue. Then we can cancel those jobs. So sometimes jobs will hang. So that kind of jobs we can cancel it. It's internal jobs. So traces, sometimes what happens, some people will activate the traces and they will go away. So that type of traces we can find out in the tracing who executing what SQL string. You will say like you will tell like, sir, your query, we will say like, sir, you are executing very long running query. That query is causing the blockers, blocking the using the main memory. Then he will say like, sir, how can you prove it? Then by enabling the trace, we can enable the trace for that query. Tracing, we can enable it so that the logs will be collected here. The trace, we can enable it. The logs will be collected here. So for my query, I am enabling the query. I am enabling the trace here, right? Trace I have activated for my session. Then, so in the expensive statement trace, the traces will be activated. The traces will be shown. The jobs will progress. It will be whenever you
Basically,
execute.
so basically in real time, the traces would be automatically in active status.
No, manually.
Okay.
Traces
So we need to
to
activate it.
identify the user session which is causing the higher query. That time we have to activate the traces. Manually activation. Real time, by default, everything will be switched off. Traces will be off. So if required to analyze it, that time as part of the troubleshooting, which SQL query, which user, which connection, which application, which IP, what is that, all those things, we don't know. We don't have the record also. Right? So that's why to check the logs, we have to enable the trace.
Okay.
Okay. So please open the HANA Studio in your desktop. Please add the system. So then we can
Can you
monitor
please
the.
show once again how to open that, please?
Okay.
I missed that. Sorry.
Okay. So in your laptop, sorry, in your after login to the gem server with this IP, we have the Windows icon. Maybe you will see whether we have the already icon in our desktop. If not exist, then go to the Windows icon. Scroll down, you will see the one folder is called the SAP HANA. Inside of the folder, there is a HANA Studio. Right click and pin to start menu. Start menu means it will come to the here. Right? Pin to task menu means it will come to the in this status here. Then just click on it, it will open the HANA Studio.
And then what is the username password here?
So whatever you have given the during the installation time, system and the password that we have to give it. For this HDB, I think I shared it, but once again I will share in the group.
Okay. So when we install any other, that will also available here automatically.
Not automatically, manually we need to add everything. All the databases we have to manually add into the studio.
Okay.
You have the 100 databases, 100 databases we have to add to the here.
Okay. So
Every user
here,
they have to add it. But there is a automatic. Once I add it, then I need to export the systems list and I need to provide to you. Then you can just to import into the your HANA Studio. That will become in this way. All the systems will come.
okay, that is in any recording. I will see that.
For which one?
Uh, for this import process and including
That
this.
is secondary. That is the secondary option. That is not required. But first you need to manually add it. Then only you will come to know how we are adding as a standard procedure, how we are adding the systems to the HANA database. Then after that, then go to the file. There is a export option here. Suppose like, sir, yeah, 100 databases, then how can I do it, sir? Means, so if you know one system how to add it, that's fine. Then remaining things, go to the file. So just here you can go to the file. You can ask your friend who has all the databases. Click on the export, right? Go to the HANA, go to the HANA SAP HANA folder. There is a landscape. Click on the next button. Then all the databases you can select it. Then where you want to add it here. Where there is a file landscape.xml file will be generated. Click on the finish button. There is a landscape.xml file is generated in our desktop or laptops, wherever it is.
Okay.
The landscape.xml file is generated here. You can share this file to your friend. Then your friend will open the HANA Studio, will go and click on the import button. So we'll go and click on the import button. So then right? So then he will import it here. Just he will
Then
go to the SAP HANA landscape,
okay.
click on the OK.
Mhm.
Then where your file is there, my file is there in the C
User local.
user something, wherever you store it here, administrator, yeah, this is the file. Just you can import it. That's it. All the files will come to in your desktop list also.
And password username I need to share separately.
Yeah, each and every database we have separately have to share it. We cannot save it
Okay.
here. So
I mean, yes,
separately. Yeah,
I got
separately.
it.
So whenever you are here is logging, it will ask the system
Mhm.
user. Then you can
Uh-huh.
provide the password. Then he has to enter. Then when he is log out, he is close the session and again when he open, again it will ask the password.
Okay,
Each
okay.
log out and log in, definitely in bit it will ask the again you need to connect to the database, like that it will
Sure.
ask it.
Mhm. Thank you.
Yeah, just export import, but that is the
Mhm.
so that is okay. If hundreds of databases are there, that is okay, but one or two just you can manually add it, then you will also get the experience.
Mhm. Got it. It will give the schema ID and configuration to them, and then rest
Right,
of the thing, yeah.
right. Everything will come, whatever he has in the database, everything, all the things will come.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so that's it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.